Hey guys, it's Generic Joe and welcome back to my channel. I haven't done a Let's Talk video in, how long has it been, like 6 months at this point? And it's been a month since I've done a live action video like this, so I figured let's get back into the groove of things, and what better way to do so than with talking about a new Nintendo Direct. Now, if I sound different this time around, it's because I'm using a mic this time around. That's an external mic, that is, right here. So, if it doesn't sound any different, though, I apologize. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. But, Splatoon 2 Direct happened not too long ago. I want to say it's like 10-15 minutes ago when it ended. So, why not do a Let's Talk video and discuss it? And, like last time, ignore the pictures up there. There's nothing I can do about that. Just the setup I have to use. It just has those pictures there in the shot. In order for me to get a good shot, that is. So, Splatoon 2 Direct. For some reason, it was hosted on the Nintendo UK channel. I don't get why that is. It's the Nintendo UK channel. Like, the live stream happened on the Nintendo UK channel. You can still find the Direct on the US Nintendo YouTube channel, or like the main one, rather. But they didn't have the live stream there, and I never got a notification about it or anything, so I don't know if they started their live stream first and I just didn't see it, or what happened. But doesn't matter, because it's the same Direct all around as far as I can tell, except for the Splatfest. I can't talk about the Splatfest, because if it's anything like Splatoon 1, these Splatfests are going to be different depending on what region you live in, so it's going to be interesting. By the way, for those who didn't know, they are bringing back Splatfests. Yeah, it's this is so unorganized. The first UK one is actually going to be cake versus ice cream. If I were to be in that, I'd probably choose ice cream. But anyways, doesn't matter. What does matter is that there was kind of a problem I had with this sort of Direct 2 years ago. Back in 2015, when Splatoon 1 was about to release, they had a Direct earlier that month discussing pretty much everything we already knew. They went over all the details that had already been revealed in, other Directs, presentations, whatever. Just anything that had been revealed at the time. And in addition to that, they did show off some new information, but overall it was just the same stuff we had already seen. So, yeah, I was getting kind of worried earlier when I realized, oh, wait a minute, they might do that again. They did. But I wasn't as disappointed this time around because there was a lot more new information in this Direct compared to the one back in 2015. Of the similar variety, that is. The one that happens the same month of the game release and just gives us the same info. But they did go over several things, like we already knew, so I'll just kind of go over them at random because, I only watched the Direct once. It lagged many times when I watched the stream due to my internet, and I was trying to watch it on the YouTube app on my PS4, and the stream kept buffering because it wanted to stream at 720p, and I'm like, no, just stream in 480, it'll be fine. But I can't set quality options on PS4 on the YouTube streaming apps. This applies to all of them, by the way, not just the PS4. When it applies to the Wii U version, Xbox One version, I'm guessing the 360 and PS3 versions too, but I haven't used those that much, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, I'll just go over the first thing I can remember. Salmon Run did get a little bit of new info, including one of the most bullcrap things I have ever seen. So much like how Splatfests and those global test fires happened at random times instead of them just being, standard events. Which Splatfests, yeah, it makes sense that it's just like a one-time thing that happens at a certain date. But with the global test fires, it's just like, come on, just give us a normal demo. For God's sake, it's not that hard, is it? Is it really that hard? But, pretty much, the Salmon Run can only happen at certain times. They discussed in the Direct the people who run Salmon Run, that's kind of weird. They're not always hiring. So you can only join the events and do those missions at certain times. What? Are you kidding me? I can't just go into the event and just play whatever missions I want, whenever I want, and just invite my friends. Or like, you know, I'll hang out at their places and we can just play together. I'll have my Switch out and we'll just be playing on our own systems. I can't just do that when I want? Are you serious? Other than that, that's pretty much the only complaint I have with the mode so far. The enemy variety is pretty great. They got a bunch of... I don't remember what they were. I want to say they were like shrimp things. I don't really know. But there's a lot of enemies. There's a good chunk of variety. They got it, for example, they got this one enemy that's like a giant tower. Remember, what was it called? The the thing from Subspace Emissary that was just like those layers of towers and you would beat them one by one from the bottom up. It's kind of that same thing, except I don't think there's a giant head at the top or just something you have to kill as well. It's just a tower of enemies and they will shoot at you. Or not a tower of enemies, but like, you get what I mean. Also, my favorite enemy that they showed off was the steel eel. That thing is awesome because what it is the giant head, and they got a bunch of they got a bunch of connected parts to form a line, you know, to make an eel shape. And each one of those lines is actually shooting an ink stream straight down, so you can't go under the enemy. You can't go under it because it's always shooting ink to keep itself afloat, so you can't go under it. The only way you can beat it is go over it, and even then you have to be high enough to go over it. And its head could just, like, blow you away. Like, if you get hit by the head, it'll go down, and it'll just, like, it'll hit you out of the way. I don't know if it kills you. It doesn't, it seems to do a good chunk of damage, though, so that thing is really cool, just, like, in terms of concept. Other than that, we also got quite a few new sub-weapons and special weapons. We have a brand new weapon type. It's not coming out yet. Much like what they did for the first game with the splatter shot. They announce it in a direct and then they're going to wait a while to release it. You know, they're going to release it in a content update. And so, it's basically, it's an umbrella weapon. It's called the Paint Bella, I think. And the first thing I thought when I saw it was just, I thought you'd be able to float down. Like, you jump off a ledge, you press a button, you float down, just holding up your umbrella, float to safety. You can't do that. That infuriates me. That would have been so cool! Well, I don't know about cool, but you could just... woke up my dog up. You could just have your umbrella up and be like, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all! Gee, that would have been so great, but you can't do that. However, the actual use for the weapon is pretty good too, because normally it just kind of acts like the blaster weapon, you know, where it's like, oh go, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's just like sitting there being all lazy. It kind of acts like the blaster weapon in the sense of you press the button and it just like fires a shot. You know, the blasters in the first game, you just press it and it fires out a shot of ink. It's kind of like that, but one of the additional bonuses is you press a button and the umbrella will open up and act as a shield. And if you want to, you can actually detach the shield and send it out forward. I don't know if it kills enemies. I think it might, because I'm pretty sure it leaves an ink trail behind of like your colored ink. But if you use that shield move, it takes quite some time for the shield to recharge. You know how in Smash, Robin has all those tomes, and if he uses them too much, he has to wait a while to recharge them. It's kind of like that. You just use it, and then you have to wait for it to recharge before you can use it again. That's a pretty cool weapon type, even if you can't just float down with it. Again, that would be awesome. But still, again, I keep saying it's awesome. It would not be awesome. It would look super gay. Just you flying down with an umbrella. Well, to be fair, we're in the world of Splatoon. Nothing's too far outside the realm of possibilities. But, anyways, they also showed off a bunch of other new weapons in the weapon types we already knew. They have a new version of Splat Dualies. They have a couple new rollers. They actually showed off 2, I believe. Maybe it was just 1. I don't remember. But a natural ability of rollers, new rollers, is that you can just, you could do the, you know, you have your standard roller function of just moving around, and you have your roller out, and just ink that good amount of turf. And then you can just like fling some ink at people just by just tapping the button. Well, now you can vertically, you can shoot a vertical line of ink instead of just a horizontal line. And that's just a natural ability of the rollers now. It's not like specific types of rollers do it. It's just like any roller can do it for the most part. And they also revealed a new roller where if you want to do your, I'm not sure if it's just a vertical swing or if it's both. But point is, it allows you to hold your charge. It allows you to charge up your roller swing. So it's like you could rise up from the ink and like hold your charge, and then when you land, it's like just send out a whole bunch of ink. The more you charge it, the more ink you'll shoot out. I think that's a pretty cool weapon type. And if you don't want to charge it, that's fine too. You can still do your vertical swings. And again, I don't know if you can charge it both ways, but we'll just have to find out later on. One other neat ability, another natural ability of the ink chargers, is that when you charge up your weapon and you go into the ink, you press your left trigger and you go into the ink and you swim around, you can actually hold your charge. Now, you can't hold it forever, but still, this is going to be really nice for Splat Charger users. This might even make me use the Splat Chargers more, because I cannot use them at all in Splatoon 1. It's like, before then, I was just like terrible with sniper rifles in games. I'm still terrible with sniper rifles in any game. Doesn't matter what game it is. But still, it's just like, you can hold your charge for a certain amount of time. And there's actually a new Splat Charger that they revealed, which allows you to hold your charger for a longer amount of time. Or maybe that was an ability, I'm not sure. But, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then I think they have a couple other weapons with different properties as well. So, they also have some new abilities. For example, there's a rolling respawn ability, which basically when you use your super jump, or not a roller respawn, a roller jump. Basically what you do is when you super jump, you hit the point wherever you wanted to, and when you land, you'll roll in whatever your direction you're holding the control stick, which is a natural ability of the Splat Dualies. Speaking of the Splat Dualies, going back to the weapon abilities, because I just remember this, you can actually, when you have a certain version of the Splat Dualies, which I mentioned earlier, they revealed a new type of that, when you have that version, your dodge rolls are actually quicker, because they're a lighter weapon. So you can dodge roll a lot faster, which is really nice. But back to the weapon abilities, yeah, you'll roll in any direction, as long as you're holding the control stick. And I like how the example that they used in the Direct was them hitting the ground, rolling, and then they get shot and killed immediately. I just find that really funny, how the example that they showed involved a person dying with the move. What does that tell you? What does that tell you when the game developers show you dying with something? Anyways, so they also have some other abilities that allow you your sub-weapons and all that to last longer. For example, that one wall weapon or whatever it's called. You know the thing where it's like you throw that down? It's not the sprinkler. It's like you throw it down, it'll extend up, and it'll have those walls of ink that come down. It's that thing. I don't remember what it's called. It was in the first game. There are abilities that allow those, that allow you to keep those weapons up longer. So when people try to shoot at those, I'm guessing this applies to sprinklers and the beacons and stuff too. They'll take more shots before they're destroyed, which is really nice, because some of them can be really, really weak. So, yeah. What else do they show off? Sadly, as far as I know, they didn't show any new modes. Again, my stream was buffering and lagging like crazy, so I don't know for certain. Maybe they revealed something and my stream lagged out of it. I don't know. But I just really want there to be a deathmatch mode. That's like the one mode request I have for the game. I just want a deathmatch mode. I don't care how it's done. I just don't want it to be a case like Splatoon 1. There's no deathmatch mode. All you can do is go into a private battle and just set up with friends and tell them, hey, we're going to be counting this for kills and not ink. I don't want to have to do that, especially considering I need to have those people on my friends list if I need to have those people on my friends list if I play, and just, I don't want to have to do that. I just want to have to, play with anyone. I just want to go into the ranked battles and such, like, and just do that. Maybe they can make it a basic mode. You know how Turf War is the basic mode? Maybe they can add deathmatch to that basic mode setup. I don't know. Something. Something. Maybe. I don't know. Anything. I really don't care what it is. Something different. Okay? So, as for other new content, I really don't remember what else they showed off that was new. Off the top of my head, that is. They did show off the hero mode, which is the story mode, and they showed that there are a lot more enemy types this time around. And they're not going into detail about the plot, even though it's really obvious at this point. And I'm pretty sure they even confirmed it in like a text announcement or something, that Callie has been captured by the Octarians, and Marie, or Mary, or whatever, the better Squid Sister, is there to guide you, and basically acts like the old man from the first game, whose name I really can't remember. Oh yeah, they discussed the shops too. The shops all have new people running them, except for the guy who runs the, what is it, the shirt shop or whatever. He looks like the guy from the first game. I don't think it's, I'm not 100% sure if this is it. Wow, I really don't know anything about Splatoon. Also, they brought back Sheldon for the weapons shop, and one new feature about him is that when he's giving you those explanations about he's giving you those explanations about the weapons and stuff, like when you get a new weapon, it's like, oh, you're fresh enough to wield this weapon or this weapon. You can actually hold the right trigger and just speed that up. Now, you can't skip it entirely. You could just make it go faster. So you can just, like, stop at a point, and it's just like, oh, wait, stop. I want to look at the info for this weapon, but not all the other ones you're talking about. Screw those weapons. I just care about this one, so you can just speed the rest of them up. And that's a really nice feature. Although it would be even nicer if you just didn't say him in the first place, unless you wanted him to, but oh well. It's Sheldon. He's already established. He's already an established character. You can't really change his traits like that. Well, I mean, you can, but they won't. But they have a speed up feature. I'm perfectly fine with that. So, in addition to that, the shops pretty much just function the same way that they did in the first game. They also showed off Amiibo support. Wow, I remember a lot more than I thought I did. Amiibo support has been confirmed of what it can do. In addition to having those missions where you unlock new gear and stuff like that, you can actually, this is a really cool function, you can actually tap one of your new Amiibo. I'm not sure if this happens with the old Amiibo or not. And they did confirm you can use the old Amiibo, either the 3-packs or the Squid Sister Amiibos. Those will all work with this game. Thank God. I had a feeling they would, but they never confirmed anything until now. But I'm still happy that they did that. But what you can do is you can actually take an Amiibo and tap it to your right Joy-Con or your Pro Controller, whichever controller you're using, and actually save your loadout to the Amiibo. So you could take it over to a friend's house. It's kind of like a memory card in a sense, but only for like one loadout in the game. You could take it over to a friend's house, and if they don't have very much Splatoon 2 data, you can be like, don't worry, man, I got you. Tap your Amiibo. I don't know what that was. Magic. You tap your Amiibo to their Pro Controller or their right Joy-Con, and you will have their loadout in the game. You can also do this for your own setup if you just have setups you really like to use and you don't want to have to constantly switch back and forth between them. Get the Amiibo and you can just tap it to the Joy-Con or the Pro Controller and save the loadout. The load. My voice died right there. That does kind of suck that you have to buy the Amiibo in order to have that loadout set up. Like, I would prefer a situation where you have your loadouts in the game. You can have like 5 loadouts or something like that. But then if you use the Amiibos, you can take those setups to other consoles. Basically, just make it so you don't need the Amiibos to save those loadouts. You know, because they've always touted that Amiibo are completely optional. You don't need them for any of your games. But still, to restrict a feature like that, that's just, no. Just include that in the game and have the portable function with the Amiibo. Also, the Wolf Link Amiibo from Twilight Princess did something similar, where you would save your Twilight Princess data to the Amiibo, so that way when you got to the title screen, you just tap your Amiibo and you start that file up. I don't know if that means you get to, if you save your amiibo, you get to take it to someone else's house and have the data on that system. I don't know. I don't know anyone else who has Twilight Princess. Well, I do know people that have Twilight Princess HD, but I haven't gone to their houses, so I can't test this out. Also, one of the neat features with Amiibo is that, well, unlock new equipment. I was about to say there's something else for Amiibo, but I don't think there is. Also, there's a food shop. There's just a food truck in the Inkopolis Square. You just go up to it, and you buy food and eat it. I didn't hear if, like, they give you stat boosts or anything, but if I had to take a wild guess, I'd say you eat some food and you get some temporary stat boosts. Kind of like Monster Hunter. You get your temporary stat boosts for, like, whatever period of time, like, for the next 3 battles, or the next 5 battles, or whatever. But just something along those lines. Also, they have a new Squid Sister group. Now, they're not the Squid Sisters, but they are definitely the Squid Sister equivalent in this game because, you know, Callie and Mary aren't together in the second game until you beat the story mode, I'm guessing. So it's kind of like the first game, how when you beat the game, you got the giant Zapfish at the top of the tower. I'm guessing something similar happens here, where you get Callie in your game when you beat the story mode or something like that. But yeah, they have a Squid Sister equivalent. It's Marina and Pearl, and they are part of this. They form this group called Off the Hook, and yes, they report the news just like the Squid Sisters in the first game. They will report the news as usual. I don't like Pearl. She doesn't look cool. I don't like her attitude. Pearl sucks. Marina is so much better. But yeah, they are your new. I always like the squid on the right. I just realized that. I like Mary more than Callie, and I like Marina more than Pearl. I just now realized that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Which they confirmed will be happening for the next 2 years when Splatoon 2, you know, is fresh and new and stuff. But that's pretty much it. That's all the stuff I had to cover. I'm getting a notification saying I'm running out of space, so thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time for whenever here on my channel. Goodbye.